right, so this is April from Esty and Victor. And she is excited.
Oh, yeah, she is. Look at the tail go. She knows where she was put in, and she's trying to initiate that social. Yeah, so overall that's a little bit lower confidence to some. There's the shake off, so it was some stress. She's not quite sure what to do with this, and her response is to go back for the human that she knows. Yeah, so I can already say this is a puppy that I would maybe look at as she gets a little bit older. A dog walker, some daycare, anything that gets her away from her core family and gets her out doing things, pleasant things, happy things, fun things on her own a little bit, because she's gonna tend to be a little bit insecurely attached, it looks like. And it's gonna be really hard for her to loosen that attachment. And we don't want that to become a problem. So the earlier they can seek out ways for her to explore independence, the better. Puppy, 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 hi. Hi, puppy. Hi, puppy. Hi, puppy. And you know what? She's having a little trouble locking on visually. So she may be one that's got a little bit of that sensory, tiny bit of the sensory lag, which would also make her a little bit more insecure. But she's very happy. She's very friendly. But you notice she doesn't come all the way up and into me. So just a little lower confidence. Good girl. Hi, hi. Hello. You can really see how much work, though. Hi. Hello. Has been put into her socialization and enrichment, because a puppy with slightly lower confidence like this would a lot of times would see them totally melt down in a new environment. She's not. She's fine. She's coping with it. She's just a little higher stress level inherently. So again, just that's all manageable, but it's all things that you can work on. And now that she's got me, super friendly, formed a relationship with me really quickly. So she just needs a broad inner circle, wide range of friends and people, because if she's kept too much in, she's gonna form a really tight emotional bond with her family really quickly. And then that's gonna be home for her. She's gonna want to hold on to that, which is a good thing really in the long run, but because it does mean that she's gonna be really clued into her people. And you know, I like that. I would prefer a dog that's really more interested in me than in socializing with everybody in the entire world.
They're just so happy to be out.
Yes,
and
these poor puppies. And you know, again, I didn't mention it in this video yet, but we talked about it. These poor puppies have had the world's longest day for puppies their age. So I did that on purpose to see if she could visually track that, and she could. So I don't think there's anything going on there. It's just maybe she's a little slower to develop that than other puppies, which can totally happen to the same degree of acuity. But you might see some other little developmental lags, so it's just
right. And they also on the younger side.
Yep.
Yeah.
She does the poodle spin. Really cute.
I think she's
Plus,
looking for she needs to go potty.
She does, yeah. But she's too distracted by all of this to do it. Also, a good thing to note with potty training, she might need a little patience with that, just because she is very distracted. So she'll get there, but she might need a minute. And that's her problem here. She just keeps getting distracted. She needs to go, but there's so much interesting stuff.
She can't decide what to do.
It'll be interesting to see how her stress levels adjust once she does finally go. There we go. She had to poop.
put it here so we can look at
Okay, though, but that was useful because it fell, it made a noise, and she went towards the noise rather than away from the noise. Yep.
Yeah, I'll get that.
Oh, there we go.
And this is mine.
Very nice. Puppy, puppy. Puppy, 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 puppy. Hi. Hello, little girl. Hello. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. There you are. Hi. Yeah. Now that she has a lap, she's perfectly happy. Yeah, she's a very social little dog, so I would just let her make lots of friends. With a lot of dogs, puppies, I encourage more teaching them to be not overly social and fairly neutral with new people, just so you don't get problems with fixation on other people and other dogs. But with this little girl, when she's very young, I would encourage her to make a lot of friends. Because I think the little teeny tiny gap in confidence we can get up really quickly and easily.
Yeah.
And puppies that are right at her level, that are a little bit developmentally, not behind in a bad way, puppies just develop at different rates. So a little slower than some of the other puppies in her particular litter, and are just a little teeny tiny bit lower in confidence than other puppies in her particular litter. As soon as they get out in their own home, one-on-one, they're fine. They pick up that real quick, and they do great moving forward. So I would just be aware of it with her and just prevent that as far as you can, that over bonding. And again, the way to do that is just that wide circle of friends, finding her some independent activities if you can. And with puppies, I never recommend long stretches of daycare if you can avoid it, but even if she just goes for a couple hours a day, that would probably be really beneficial to her. And maybe like 3 days a week, so it doesn't need to be a ton, but just some going and doing something fun that's not only with you.
The family,
Yeah.
And also I think it might be helpful for the family too, because she's a busy and fidgety puppy, kind of.
You can see that already.
But she's not high energy.
No, she's not.
So
she's busy.
She's
different.
just busy, and so she's going to be easily excitable. She will be a puppy who's going to be spinning, jumping, easy to get frustrated. During like transition times. So she'll need management with that. So on a busy day, it might be a good thing for you too to have the puppy in a daycare.
Yeah, for your own sanity. She is, I think, going to be a little bit high maintenance, and in the kind of way that's going to actually make you really love her and bond to her just as much, but we want to keep it at a healthy level. She's also one who might not do as well with crating, so if that winds up being a problem, then that's something that can absolutely be worked through. There's methods for working through that, but it may take longer than it would take with another puppy. But I mean, she's super sweet, very, very sweet and affectionate puppy. And this is the kind of puppy that will give you her heart and soul, and just, you will be her world.
Yeah, but this wouldn't be a puppy that I would expect to sit still and, greet the visitors and not be hyper.
Yes. She is very excitable.
This is the puppy that needs to go into a puppy apartment for when you have transition times. And
for sure. Puppy. And again, there you see it took her just a second longer to lock onto the drive toy. That's that visual delay. Really minor.
And she's not even as interested in any of that. She's more just hold me
and let me fidget. And one really nice thing about her is I've not had, even with all this level of busyness, not a single puppy, no puppy bitiness at all. So I think some of the normal puppy behaviors will be easier to manage, but just the general, like you said, fidgety is the right word. Fidgety excitement is where she's gonna be I don't even want to use the word irritating or challenging, but where she's more likely
it will
to
be
get
your
herself into
the
problems.
owner's personality, I think.
Absolutely.
This is kind of where we talk about doing a match for the puppy, because
Yep.
you can see those kind of things. So if
Yep.
you're the kind of person who likes
Calm structure, this is probably not the puppy for
yeah,
you.
you may get frustrated because this is not this is her innate behavior. This is part of her personality, of who she is. And if you set out to teach her to, like, you can teach her to be calm, but there's a limit to
How quickly she's going to learn it, how easy it's going to be to get that calm,
Yeah.
how persistent she'll be in being calm. And she's not, it's not a high energy type
No.
of excitement. It's a busyness. It's just
just busy and fidget.
busy and fidget. Very different from the puppy we just evaluated, who is a lot more high energy. Yeah. But, you know, the right person will actually really find that cute. And
I find it's very silly and
It's
endearing
silly,
and it's
engaging.
just, yeah.
she's going to learn really quickly what makes you smile and laugh, and then she's going to do it over
Yeah.
and over and over and over and over again. She's going to be very sensitive to your emotional
She's
needs.
entertaining.
She's going to be entertaining and quirky and fun. It's all about her relationship with you here. She is not a puppy who's about the toys. She's not a puppy who's about free play. She's a very, very relational puppy. And the good side of those dogs are they are the ones who form that really, especially with a poodle, very intense bond with, and very, very close-knit relationship. She's gonna very intuitively guess and know your needs. She's also gonna pick up on your stress. She's also gonna pick up on your moods. If you get to, you get annoyed and you get irritable with her, like, we're humans, we all do it. All of us have done it at some point or another. She's going to take that personally. She's going to take that to heart. So it's just where these things are that might present more just challenges in living with her, like you would have with any puppy. We know what hers are, and I would, as I always say, proactively manage those pieces with this puppy, and you're going to be really happy with her. I do think that once she gets over that initial burst of energy, her energy level, like we said, is not high.
Yeah.
It's going down really quickly. And I think she will get to the point where she self-entertains. So she's also a puppy that I would recommend having lots of quiet chew toys for, and just showing her, yeah, you can just lay here beside me on the couch and chew this thing. She's going to need something to fidget with, and I get that. I mean, I'm like that. I can sit still for forever, but I'm going to be messing with my rings.
Yeah.
My wedding ring that my husband bought is a fidget spinner because I can't not do it. I have to be messing with it. And you see how she even picked up on that? So she's going to be one who's going to be very clued into you.
Yeah.
So I would definitely teach her, you can fidget, but you can fidget on a low scale right next to me, and we can be together, and you can fidget calmly in your space, and I'll sit in my space, and we'll be okay. She'll learn that, I think, easily enough. But it's
Because she
something
calms down, like,
actively-
right now when you
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of her needing a ton of exercise to run her out,
Right.
or like she's
Right.
not mannered. It's part of her personality.
It's
of who
just
she
her
is.
personality. Yeah.
And her mom, she reminds me of her mom. when
She's
she was,
resting her head on my hand now.
Yeah.
It's very sweet.
her mom is very similar right now. She's a medium to low energy dog, but she does that kind of fidget stuff when she plays, and she jumps on the couch and she does a silly little sploot,
Yeah.
and then she trusses her toy, and then she jumps after the toy, and then she shakes it, then she goes up back in the couch. So it's a more of a fidget kind of behavior rather than I have to run around and bark and
Yeah. And be really intense. Yeah, she's not intense at all. This is actually going to be one of those puppies that I think, other than the excitability in moments of high excitement, like when a visitor comes through the door, she'll get over it quickly. As she matures, she'll get over it increasingly quickly. She's gonna, I think, actually have, look at how she brought me that. That was very sweet. Some pretty good natural good manners. I don't think this is a puppy that needs a ton of training. It's more how we manage her than how we train her in this case. Again, the puppy we just evaluated, I was saying a lot about training, but this puppy I wouldn't really worry about training so much. It's more, how do we learn to live with her and channel all of her innate personality characteristics in a really healthy way. And once you do that, then she'll be a piece of cake from then on out. She's not a hard puppy at all. And she's going to be so responsive to you being displeased with her if she even begins to suspect that you're not deliriously thrilled with her, she is going to pick right up on that. Like I said, she's going to take it personally. She's going to be smushed, heartbroken, bereft. Like, this is not, I would be very gentle with this puppy, and use a lot of positive reinforcement and encouragement in training her.
Yeah. So funny because you've never met Esty, but you are describing Esty.
Yeah.
She's her mama's girl. You're just like your mama.
All right, let's oh, I didn't reload the food puzzle, so I'll do that while she's distracted there.
And yeah, like now she pooped, she's a little bit more calm.
Yeah. Well, and again, I'll just repeat for this test because I haven't set it for this one completely. They had a really long day. It's a weird time of day for puppies.
Yeah.
We're not testing at our normal time because of how this day's gone. They're hungry. There's a lot of reasons why all of their personality characteristics are going to be a little artificially dialed up in more annoying ways than they normally would be, and that's completely normal for puppies. But it does.
Because puppies do get annoyed when they're hungry, tired,
they get
and cranky. Yeah.
And she's definitely showing us some of those. It shows us a stronger sense of what their stress responses are going to be, which is kind of useful for the temperament test, because the whole point of this is to see what they do and dial up those personality characteristics artificially so we can make these sorts of predictions, and we're seeing it with her for sure. So, you know, all of this is not to say that normal puppy will be at this level all the time. She won't be.
So basically, if you take her to a class or somewhere outside and she starts being super fidgety and splooty and acting silly, that is your cue that the puppy is stressing out.
She's stressing, and she probably should, you know, have a break. Whether that means with her go home or just take her on your lap or walk her somewhere else. Yeah, they are very hungry.
And if you're watching this, not from this letter, my car broke down and we were waiting for a tow truck for 3 hours. So
that is what went wrong with this. But I mean, these poor puppies, that's the other thing. They've already been way more exposed to environmental stressors because of the noise at the gas station and the tow truck and everything else than we would normally do in a day when we were temperament testing, and they were champs. And then they're all responding really well to this new environment. So again, these are not negatives. These puppies have been through a lot for puppies this age today. Yeah, she's not big on the problem solving. She did figure it out, but her response again was to more like get my hand to fix it for her. She's just not an independent puppy, not even remotely. Okay, I'm gonna close it and see what she does with that. This is not a puppy that I would, with all dogs, enrichment is great. Scent games, puzzle toys, things like that are good. She's not one that I would expect to take particularly or really well to it. I think she's gonna much prefer ways of interacting with you. I would say keep her more on food toys like Kongs and Licky Mats is probably going to be the style of enrichment that she will enjoy, and giving her those to do sitting right next to you or in an X-Pin where she can see you but she's not on you would be really nice ways to develop her and bring her along. But I don't see her as being one, and again, different day I might see a different response, but I don't see her as being one that's going to just naturally be happy to go work a puzzle or tear up a box on her own unless we really cultivated that. Good girl. But you see how she's coming back to me with it every time. So again, super responsive to her humans, and to cues that you give her. So she's also a puppy that if you're not getting the response you want from her, she's definitely one that you're going to need to look at yourself first and ask what are you doing? What signals are you sending in this circumstance? Because she's on it. She wants nothing more than to make you happy. And once she learns how to do that, that is going to be her mission in life. And the only place where that's going to come out as a negative is that alone time stuff. And when she needs to not be with you, or you know, you take her to a restaurant and you leave her with your friend while you go to throw something away and she loses it. Those, as she grows up, she'll outgrow all of that stuff, but those are the things you'll want to work on proactively with this one. Everything else is going to be a piece of cake. They all are finding that.
I think
it's because we put the popcorn in it, I think.
maybe. Yeah.
This is the scent. And again, she's licking it, not even able to get it out of the bag before she's into it. So this is the second puppy from this litter that's been really very interested in it. And that's good information for this puppy particularly, different reasons than the other one. She's very interested. She turned off on it a little quicker. She doesn't like I think the strength of the smell, but this is super strong. I don't know why it's so strong, but it's really, really, really intense. It's strong for me, so I can only imagine for them. Putting it back in the bag to diminish that a little. Yeah, she's much more interested when it's a little muted. So that's normal. You would never work with it usually being this strong. But for her, I would consider if there are nose work classes or there's ways you can set up scent games for her at home to do that, because it will cultivate some of that independence and self-confidence. Because she was into it. Not overly much, but definite interest.
Interested, yeah.
And that could be built. She's at a level where you could easily build that. And it's one of the best ways for a puppy to develop self-confidence and that inherent sense of I'm okay by myself. And that's the one place where she's going to be a little bit lacking. The other thing that I would probably do with her is some work on proprioception and body movement. So exercises that we call like free work. You can look that up on YouTube. It's just called ACE, A-C-E, free work. You can see lots of examples for it. It's very easy to do, but basically you set up kind of a little bit of an obstacle course inside your house, and then you put food all over it and encourage the puppy to smell and sniff and explore and find the food and go through the obstacle course. Not a challenging one, it's more letting them, that's why it's called free work, it's more letting them freely experiment with novelty in their environment. But what it is designed to do is build the puppy's proprioception and work their body, because we know that proprioception and body awareness is directly linked to confidence in dogs. There have been a lot of really cool recent studies on that and some work done on that. So it's just some cool information. But she's a puppy that I would give her those kinds of opportunities. So when we're looking at how to bring some fulfillment and enrichment to her, those are the types of activities I would go for. Some easy, not hard, easy scent work that's just simple, low-key, easy for her to do, because the point of the scent work for her is to build that confidence and build that independence. Free work, just in general, probably done with you, not by herself. If she will take it and run with it by herself, so much the better. But I don't think she will. So I would do it with her. And just, give her praise, tell her she's a smart girl, encourage her with it. And then Kongs and licking mats that encourage her to be less fidgety, both with you and slightly away from you, so that she does learn I can settle, right there where I can still see you, but right there, that's not on top of you, and I can settle and be calmer and less fidgety. And then working on that alone time stuff, like independent activities, again, dog walker, daycare, stuff like that. I would really encourage daycare for this one, but a good daycare that's well run, that doesn't overwhelm the puppies.
Hi, sweetie. She says, you're my new best friend.
She does make friends and builds that relationship really quickly and easily, so I don't think it'll be hard to build her circle out a bit, but it's something that you will want to proactively and consciously do.
And I think also, like, since she's little like on a not super confident, important, the people you introduce her to is super important.
Yep. We want those interactions to not be overwhelming, to be at her speed, to be patient and gentle. She's a puppy we want to just lift up all the time. Just lift her up, never smush her down. You will regret it if you smush her down. She'll take it personally. You'll damage your relationship with her. You'll damage her trust and her trust in the world. She needs to be built up. But she's going to take really well to that, and it's not hard to do.
Right? Right? Yes. Okay, let's see what you think about noisy stuff. What about that? What about that? Hey, look at this. Good girl. Yeah. Good girl. Where'd you go? Yo, goodness.
She's like, I hear it, I see it, just don't know.
I don't know what I think about it. She's like, pick me up. And then she got pretty demanding about wanting to be picked up. So the interesting thing about that is you can see exactly the dynamic we've been talking about play out. There was a slight stressor. She didn't know what to think about it. She wasn't overly afraid of it, but she's like, I don't know. And her response was to get fidgety. Did you see her do a little poodle spin? And then she was really very pushy about wanting me to pick her up. As soon as I pick her up, she calms right down. She's happy. But she was also looking back to me constantly to see what I thought about it. See that little bit of bravery? That's how far giving her a little bit of reassurance can go for this one. Good girl, yeah. Aren't you brave? Aren't you brave? Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. How about that? Oh, goodness, goodness.
Good girl. And what I like is that it's no longer stressing her, but she's just decided this is a game she plays with me. I tap the thing and then I make silly noises and we play, and that's fine, and she has no desire to go interact with the thing, but she's not really scared of it anymore. She doesn't know what to think about it. She's skeptical. If you notice the way she's keeping her body to the side of it, she's definitely a little bit avoidant, but she's not obsessing about it. She's not super worried about it. It hasn't smushed her spirit or anything. So that confidence is there. It's just going to need to be built up a little bit.
You think? What do you think? What do you think?
She just heard Angie, the consultant, in the other room.
Who's that talking? Yeah.
And she's getting tired now. You can see it in her demeanor. You can see it in her face. So that little bit of stimulation was enough. And now she's like, can you just hold me maybe? And we don't do any more testing. You can just hold me. So again, not a high energy puppy. Nothing about this puppy is difficult. She's soft. She's smushy. She's personable. She's very human oriented. She's not going to need a lot, but for problem prevention, there's just a few things that I would do, and that alone time stuff is chief among them. If you do that, I think she's going to be an easy puppy.
What do you think about that? Yeah. How about that? What is that? What is that?
And again, she's not afraid
She's
of
looking
it.
at you. She's looking at your hand. Like,
She's
with it?
really aware of my cues. Pointing, a lot of puppies this age don't recognize pointing shows my attention. And she does, even though I do consistently see a little bit of visual. She has a little harder time tracking visually. But even with that, a little bit of sensory difference, she's still recognizing what pointing means.
And by the way, visually, impressive. They got their Culinary check yesterday, so it's developmental. They're just 8 weeks old, so
yeah, it's totally normal.
Their depth perception is not there yet.
Right, exactly. It's totally normal. It'll grow in. It's not a problem. But the reason I said that is because it's even more impressive that she's following my point and she's following my eye direction when her vision's not clear yet. The fact that she's still aware enough about the details and where I'm looking and I'm pointing, I would almost never see that with a puppy with that particular combination. So most puppies this age don't have really great visual acuity yet. It's totally normal, but she's still aware enough of mine that she's cueing off that. So that's huge.
It's interesting comparing to Arlie, that they're completely different personalities,
different
but very similar in the sense that they're visually inclined.
Yep.
Like he was looking for things. He was
and he's a bit ahead of where I would expect to see a puppy of his age. So And same litter.
Yeah.
He's just a little ahead. She's not even behind. She's just
Yeah.
normal for where I would expect a puppy this age to be. Just slower compared to him. Yeah. So interesting the differences, but they are both very visually aware.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, she has not fidgeted or budged.
She got it out of her system, and now she's just happy to chill.
And that's probably what she would happily spend the rest of the evening doing till she got another little energy spurt.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this isn't even a dog that I would say necessarily needs huge amounts of exercise outside the house if you don't want to. Like, she could be an apartment dog because you could meet most of her needs inside the house with no problem. All dogs need some outside time, obviously, and walks and things like that so they can sniff and experience their environment and be, you know, especially for puppies, socialization and stuff like that. But she doesn't have a very high need for it. She does not need to go hiking every weekend.
No. As long as if she can jump up and down your couch,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not at this age, but
right, in general, she'll be fine.
yeah, she will be.
She doesn't even need necessarily a long walk daily. She's fine. She is one that is going to want on the furniture. Now that you mentioned that, I would. Most poodles, mini poodles particularly, I wouldn't say keep off the furniture.
And hers, I would see her going up and down, and
yeah, she'll be all over it, off the back.
Yeah.
Park her in the living room. But the advantage of that is, again, that would get her energy needs met. She doesn't need, you know, a very long walk. Now, if you wanted to take a sedate stroll around the neighborhood just to be out and about, I think she'd be all for it. She's not a couch potato, but she doesn't need that. And now look, she's perfectly happy to experiment with it.
kind of like what you were saying about Arlie as well. Give time, provide support, and then they're ready to go and check it out.
Yep. It's not an anxiety thing. It's not a problematic lack of confidence. It's just that she's a softer puppy.
And if you think about it, like,
What was that? What was that? What was that?
at this age, the normal dog situation would be her being in a group of siblings,
Right.
and her mom coming out of the den and not necessarily going and experiencing a lot of novelty.
Right.
So,
And that's why we test at 7 weeks, because it shows us a heightened response to novelty because of that. So, yeah. Yeah, she's tracking really nicely developmentally. She's right on par with where a normal puppy would be on all this stuff.
and she's a termite puppy too.
She does like the crinkly paper better and the big, soft stuffy. So that tells us a little bit about what kind of toys she might like. So the skins that crinkle and big, plushy. She's not a puppy that I would go with these hard-bodied toys like the squirrel or like that guy. She wants the big, soft, smushy ones.
She might need a Carl, but for
Right.
cuddling rather than wrestling.
Right. Yep. And her curl, you know, can be softer bodied. Something she can smush into, and that will give her that sensory feedback of smushing back. She's probably also a puppy that I would give lots of blankets to and allow her to den a lot and nest, because she is sensory like that, and I think that would also, just with her personality, really give her some nice sensory feedback of being held and cuddled and secure feeling. Oh, you're gonna get that one though. They've all really liked this ball. But even with this, she's not biting the hard part of the ball. It's the soft.
Just
She likes the softness of it.
By the way, I by interjection, I am not a big fan of those kind of toys.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because
Especially because the little
ropes.
threads come off, and
And you see that little response right there? I think she bit down on the hard rope part of it, and she didn't like that feedback. So I think she's a little lucky piece of this puppy is I wouldn't expect to have much problem with puppy biting. All puppies puppy bite, but I would expect her to do a lot less of it than the norm, and she's probably gonna always prefer soft toys.
Yeah, you can always
Soft chews.
if you start mushing her face a lot and doing the grab her face, she will start biting,
Oh yeah, I'm sure you could get her to do it.
which we don't want to do.
No, No, she's
This is good. This is good.
great.
This is where we're going to keep
Great.
it.
We'll just leave it
Yeah.
here. But yeah, I think she's a really nice puppy. Will be very easy, naturally easy, not a lot of work to be done. The biggest place where I would put in some effort is with finding a good daycare where she can go, or a dog walker. If there's not a good daycare available, find a nice dog walker who'll take her to go do stuff away from you a couple times a week for a couple hours, and where you have a resource where you are having company over and you don't want to deal with the energy, that initial energy. You can get her out of the house for a little while so you can focus on your guest and she can go be entertained, and then when she comes back she's already a little bit more tired and you're ready to deal with her. And I think if you just do those things, then she's going to be super easy. And then just be mindful as you get her out and about that we're really building up her confidence and being very reassuring. Be mindful in your interactions with her, even when she does puppy things that irritate you. Keep it positive, keep it gentle. She's very soft and will smush easily, and that's just sad because she's so sweet. We wouldn't want to smush her. She's just gonna be just a very, very sweet natured, gentle puppy.
This is like a pee.